Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Kurt Belisar, and I'm pleased to be here at the OCP Summit talking to you about HP's Cloudline announcements. A lot of people are asking me, as you go and you launch these industry-standard Cloudline products, how do you handle innovation? And our innovation around the Cloudline is based on two principles. One, we are basing this on an open approach for the technology that's going into these boxes. That basically allows us to do development and implementation and use it across multiple platforms. An example of that would be having industry standard baseboard management controllers that today support IPMI, but in the future we plan to take our Redfish management standard, which was a more RESTful interface, which we think is a management standard that'll be used going forward, and apply that across the entire Cloudline. The second basic principle is a principle of collaboration. What this means is that if you go look at our Cloudline products, and this includes both the products that are designed in the OCP style and even our 19-inch industry standard servers, you'll find an industry standard mezzanine slot in all those products that is common across all those products. And that basically allows us to reduce risk and bring out technologies in a more rapid manner. So if you think of network interface cards, we're able to basically leverage a portfolio of network interface cards that are being developed out there in the industry. If we think about HP's open infrastructure, it has four basic tenets. We've got open initiatives, which we just spoke about, which we're supporting across the Cloudline. We've got HP's open cloud, and that includes both Cloud Foundry and OpenStack support across our products that are designed for this space. We also have a tenet that is being able to deliver these products with full supply chain and service and support worldwide. And we really think that that's one thing that HP can bring to the table that none of our competitors can. That means that with this joint venture that we have with our partner Foxconn, we're able to deliver products that come out that are in an ODM style with an ODM cost structure, but we're able to do that with worldwide supply chain and service and support. And we think that's a value proposition that's unmatched. And then the fourth tenet is because these are based on open principles, this allows the service providers and other companies that are basically deploying this cloud infrastructure to go and build on top of that and provide their own value add on that and do it in an easy way, because we're using open standards around this entire product line and around the cloud infrastructure that HP offers. Now I'm going to go into a little bit more depth and talk about the HP Cloudline. This is the Cloudline that you've seen all the announcements come out during the summit. If I take the Cloudline, I basically think and divide it up into three basic buckets when I think about the products in the Cloudline. The first bucket involves rack scale systems. These are systems that are designed to be deployed at the rack level at a minimum quant. And so if you go and you think about, for example, our OCP style products, or you think of our OCS style products, those are products that are designed to be deployed in a full rack. And so they involve server infrastructure, they involve the rack infrastructure, power delivery, and typically places to go put your networking components, all delivered in one package. The second category that we have in the Cloudline are dense multi-node products. These products you actually will not find in the announcements that we did this week. These products are currently in development, and you'll see us come out with these products in the future. But when we say dense multi-node products, these are products that typically share sheet metal, they share cooling, so they share fan infrastructure, they share power infrastructure, and in some cases even aggregated networking, all wrapped in one chassis or package. And then we put multiple of those in a rack. But that's a class of product in the middle row that we have that's coming out in the future that was not involved in the announcements today, but you'll see us roll those out at a future point in time. The final category within the Cloudline, and these are the products that we did a lot of talking about today in addition to the rack scale products, are what we call bare iron rack servers. And so you'll see that we've got 3 servers that are coming out that are available essentially today that you can go order that fall into the rack server category. This is basically a mixture of some 1U and 2U products. All of these products are designed to be lowest in cost structure. They are designed to be power efficient, and they're designed for those that are wanting to stand up, bare, what we sometimes call bare iron or bare metal, low cost cloud infrastructure. So next I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on some of the products that we have that are offered in this product line. The first product that I'm going to talk about is the Cloudline CL7100 server. So this is a server that is designed for open rack style infrastructure, so this fits in the open rack dimensions. If you look at the server from a dimension standpoint, it is 2 open units in height, and it's basically a third width of the open rack dimension, or it's basically 7 inches across. So there's a shelf that these sits on. There are 3 of them across, and it fits in open rack style infrastructure. These servers make use of the distributed power that exists in an open rack. So we have a power shelf that we offer that basically takes in AC, and it distributes 12 volts via bus bars in the back of the rack. And I'm sure that you've seen examples of this style of rack here at the Open Compute Summit. If you've not, please stop over to our booth, which is B3, and you can see examples of this type of infrastructure, and you can actually see the server and pull it out and take a look at it. So if you open up this particular server tray, what you'll see is it is a 2-socket Xeon system. You'll see that it's got 6 small form factor drives that you can put into the server. You'll find that it's got 16 DDR4 DIMM sockets in it. And then if you go look at the back of the server, we've actually made some modifications to the tray to allow it to have hot plug fans. You'll find it accommodates standard PCI Express slots, and that it's got a OCP mezzanine slot in the back of the server. So again, this server is designed to fit an open rack style infrastructure. So that's the CL7100 server, and you can see the spec sheet that's listed here that I talked through. A couple other things that I didn't mention on the last slide is that it's got, for management purposes, it's got an embedded gigabit Ethernet NIC that comes out the back for a separate management connection. For those who want 10 gigabit Ethernet, you would get those via the MES slot that I spoke about. We've got some different ways that you can configure PCI Express cards in this server. And then the other thing, I mentioned the 6 small form factor drives, but it's got the ability to support an M.2 module in it as well. Oh, one other thing on that product, we have samples of those products that are available today, fully functional. You can see that we're planning on bringing that out in early summer of 2015. Okay, the next product that I'm going to talk about is the CL7300 server. The CL7300 server was designed for the Microsoft Open Cloud Server specification type of an infrastructure. This is designed, so most of you have probably seen this infrastructure, but you've got chassis kits that fit in a 12U space that accommodate up to 24 half-width servers. So they're on 19-inch Retma rail racks. So this server is a half-width server. You can see from a spec standpoint, this is similar to the motherboard spec that was described in the last server. It's a 2-socket Xeon design. It's got 16 DIMM sockets. It has a mezzanine slot that allows you to get to 10 gigabit Ethernet. We also have 40 gigabit Ethernet mezzanine cards that you can plug in. As I mentioned, that's an industry standard mezzanine slot. So any other network cards that are offered that are designed to that mezzanine spec, you'll be able to plug into this server as well. From a drive support standpoint, this server has the ability to accommodate 4 large form factor drives, non-hot plug, in the tray. It's also got the ability to accommodate up to 4 small form factor slots that are intended, most customers are putting SSDs or small form factor drives in that spot. We've also got the ability to cover 2 M.2 modules that can fit in this server as well. From a management standpoint, this has an A-Speed 2400 VMC that's on this motherboard. The difference in terms of power infrastructure with the Open Cloud Server is that in the back of that 12U chassis that we spoke about, it's got the ability to accommodate up to 6 power supplies in the back of that chassis. For rack level management, there's a chassis manager that's plugged into that chassis as well, and that allows you to do rack level management. You can communicate with each of the servers, you can do firmware upgrades through that, you can turn servers on and off. So again, this server is also coming out in the second half of 2015, and it will be available again for Microsoft's Open Cloud Server style chassis and rack level infrastructure. So those last 2 products fall into that rack scale bucket that I spoke about on the first slide. Again, we kind of got 3 buckets: rack scale, multi-node, and rack servers. I'm going to move on next, and I'm going to talk about the last category in the Cloudline from that first slide, and those are the rack level servers. The server that you see all the way to the left, this is the HP Cloudline CL100, is designed for the ultimate in low cost. It is a 1U server. It has some feature limitations to it. Again, it's designed for low cost, primarily around the number of DIMM sockets. That socket is designed for customers that can handle up to 8 DIMMs and don't require a full complement of 16 DIMMs. The other feature that it has in it is it only has 2 hard drives that are available in it. These are fixed, non-hot plug, and basically designed for customers that want to stand up a server and basically have a mirrored maybe OS pair that sits in the front of the server. So a lot of customers that are talking to us about web front end want a typical 40 servers in a rack and want the lowest cost infrastructure available. That server to the left is ideal for that type of application. The next server that you'll see in the middle is the HP Cloudline CL2100. This is a server that is a typical 1U server. From a feature set standpoint, it has more features than the server to the left. Again, it's 2-socket Xeon, but this time it's got a full complement of 16 DIMMs, and we've got some different configurations of hard drives. So it's got the ability to support either 8 small form factor hard drives or 4 large form factor hard drives across the front of the server. So that's a standard workhorse 1U server. Again, these are designed for 19-inch industry standard racks. The server that you see all the way to the right is a standard 2U storage server. So it uses pretty much as the same motherboard spec as the server that's in the middle. So it's 2-socket Xeon again. It supports up to 16 DIMM sockets in it. And it's got the ability this time to have up to 12 large form factor drives across the front of the server. And then it's also got the ability to have 2 small form factor drives in the back. So a lot of customers will put their OS on the drives that are in the back, maybe OS and scratch space, and then have data that sits on the 12 large form factor drives in the front. We're also evaluating the ability to have small form factor drives across the front of this server. If there's any of you who are interested in that type of server, I'd be interested in hearing from you after the presentation. So again, these servers are available today. If you're interested in these servers, you can go talk to your HP representative or talk to me after this presentation, and these are available immediately. So again, these fall into the 19-inch industry standard rack category of Cloudline servers that we have. Okay, I'm just going to finish up at the end here, and I'm going to say that HP Cloudline is a Cloudline that I mentioned in the very beginning. Part of our tenets or our beliefs with bringing out open platforms involve collaboration with a number of partners. And you can see that we have a number of partners listed here. Of course, I've got to call out Foxconn as being our partner in the joint venture that allows us to bring these products to market with them and do it with the ultimate and low cost, and then put HP's service and support behind it. But there's a number of other partners that we're working with, and this list is not complete. If another couple weeks had passed, there would be a whole other list of names that would be included on this slide. So that concludes talking to you today about our HP Cloudline. I encourage you to, if you have questions about Cloudline, please come and find me after the presentation, or you can go find us in our booth B3, which is over in that direction, over in that corner, and you can actually see these products. We've got a number of folks there who could actually tear the products apart, walk you through them, answer questions about them, and we'd be happy to start taking orders for these products immediately. Thank you very much.